So, good afternoon, ma'am. I will now discuss my chosen topic, which is climate change. The objectives: first, identify the causes of climate change. Second, assess the various impacts of climate change, including economic, geopolitical, biological, meteorological, and etc. Third is apply STS concepts to the issue of climate change. Let us define first what is climate change. Climate change is the range of global phenomena caused by burning fossil fuels that add heat-trapping gases to the Earth's atmosphere. And it is a long-term shift in global or regional climate patterns. It refers specifically to the rise in global temperatures from the mid-20th century to the present. And it could refer to a particular location or the planet as a whole. It also has been connected with other damaging weather events such as more frequent and more intense hurricanes, floods, downpours, and winter storms. But let us not forget that climate is different from weather. When we say climate, it is measured over a long period of time, whereas the weather can change from day to day or from year to year. Next is the causes of climate change. Usually, the climate change happen undeniably and because of human activity. One of the causes of climate change is deforestation. Deforestation refers to the cutting, clearing, and removal of rainforest or related ecosystems into less biodiverse ecosystems such as pasture, cropland, or plantations. Deforestation has a negative impact on the climate by increasing carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere, but it also has a negative impact on the environment by preventing water recycling, causing severe flooding, aquifer depletion, soil degradation, and the extinction of plant and animal species. Um, this is one of the causes of climate change because when trees are cut down and burned, their stored carbon is released into thin air as carbon dioxide, and this is how deforestation contributes to global warming. Next is power plants. A power plant is a type of industrial facility that uses primary energy to generate electricity in order to produce power to the electrical grid for society's electrical demands. Most power plants use one or more generators that transform mechanical energy into electrical energy. Power plants use fossil fuels to generate electricity. Power plants release millions of tons of carbon dioxide, the most significant greenhouse gas and contributor to climate change, as well as mercury, neurotoxic that has now been identified in all of our waterways. Next is transportation. Transportation is one of the causes of climate change because transportation creates air pollution, including nitrous oxides and particulates, and it is one contributor to global warming through emission of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is released when fossil fuels are used in automobiles, and it is the most significant source of greenhouse gas emissions. As this gas accumulate in the atmosphere, they trap heat, producing climate change. Next is volcanic eruption. When volcanoes erupt, they emit a mixture of gases and particles into the air. Volcanic eruptions can affect climate in two main ways. First, they release the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide, contributing to warming of the atmosphere, but the effect is very small. Emissions from volcanoes since 1750 are thought to be at least 100 times smaller than those from fossil fuel burning. Second, sulfur dioxide contained in the ash cloud can produce a cooling effect. Prof. Jim McQuaid explains that sulfur dioxide is quickly converted into sulfate aerosol, which then alongside the fine volcanic ash forms a partial barrier to incoming solar radiation. Next is garbage. Garbage is one of the causes of climate change because during every stage of its cycle, plastic garbage emits greenhouse gas emission. Our energy production, product consumption, and irresponsible waste management, all of this contribute to climate change by releasing carbon-based particles into the air, which are formed when petroleum products are burned. As a result, the air becomes warmer, causing a devastating greenhouse effect. So here are now to the various impacts of climate change and economic. Aside from it has a serious impact on the environment and people, climate change is one of the biggest threats to economic stability. Because when heat waves occur, it makes us less productive and make us unable to work. And when hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons occur, it wreaks havoc on millions of people, leaving them homeless after sweeping their communities away. Damage to property and infrastructure, lost productivity, mass migration, and security threats will be the primary effects of global warming on economic growth. Next is the impact of climate change in geopolitical. Climate change is a powerful influence in geopolitics as it can drive rapid and radical structural changes in the economy and the demographics of affected countries, creating ripple effects on neighbors and others with linkages with mostly irreversible results. Next is the impact of climate change in biological. Changes in climate will have far-reaching effects on all aspects of biology. Climate has far-reaching impacts on biological systems. Survival and reproduction depend on how well adapted individuals are to local climate patterns. Climate change can disrupt the match between organisms and their local environment, reducing survival and reproduction and causing subsequent impacts on populations or species distributions across geographic regions. Climate change over the past several decades have already produced measurable changes in biological systems worldwide. Next in ecosystem. Climate has a pervasive influence on individual, plants, animals, populations, communities, and the entire ecosystems. Climate change has the potential to modify where species dwell, how they interact, and when biological processes occur, potentially altering current ecosystems and food webs. Climate change threatens ecosystems' ability to cope with catastrophic events and disturbances like wildfires, floods, and droughts. Next is in agriculture. Extreme climatic events such as flooding, extreme heat, and drought has led to soil degradation, which result in low crop yields. Decline in agricultural productivity discourages the farmers and may lead to change in livelihood, especially in the rural settings. The negative impacts of global warming in agriculture include reduced crop quantity and quality due to the reduced growth period following high levels of temperature rise. In conclusion, the impacts of climate change on different sectors of society are interrelated. Drought can harm food production and human health. Flooding can lead to disease spread and damages to ecosystems and infrastructure. Human health issues can increase mortality, impact food availability, and limit worker productivity. Climate change impacts are seen throughout every aspect of the world we live in. However, climate change impacts are uneven across the country and the world. Even within a single community, climate change impacts can differ between neighborhoods or individuals. And now we are in the third objectives, which is apply STS concepts to the issue of climate change. Um, as we can see, because of the innovations of technology, it plays a huge role in contributing to climate change. First, what is science, technology, and society? STS applies methods drawn from history, philosophy, and sociology to study the nature of science and technology, and ultimately judge their value and place in the society. As an interdisciplinary field, the emergence of STS, or the Science, Technology, and Society, was the result of questions about science and technology's dynamic interaction with the various aspects of society and was thus viewed as socially embedded enterprise. Science, technology, and society seeks to bridge the gap between two traditionally exclusive cultures, which is humanities and natural sciences. Science, technology, and society is an interdisciplinary field that studies the conditions under which the production, distribution, and utilization of scientific knowledge and technological systems occur, the consequences of these activities upon different groups of people. Science and technology have had a significant impact on society, and their influence continues to rise. Science has influenced mankind's moral ideas and core ideas by radically altering our means of communication, the way we work, our home, clothing, and food, our modes of transportation, and even the quantity and quality of life itself. However, technology has also given us the remarkable capacity to destroy ourselves. And as a result of modern technologies that have been developed, that has become another causes of climate change. The effects of technology on the environment, like the effects of technology on culture and society, can be good or bad. The potential for technology to have a large impact on the environment has developed since the Industrial Revolution and the fast growth of human populations. As a result, understanding certain key principles about the effects of technology on the natural environment, as well as the many important efforts made by the people to preserve natural habitats, reduce air and water pollution, and maintain a healthy environment is an important part of technology and engineering literacy. So, individual with a basic understanding of technology and engineering should be aware of strategies for reducing technology's environmental impacts. But, despite the bad effects of technology, it contributes to our fight against climate change in a way of consider the following example. First is new or improved technologies can help items like cars, machinery, and appliances use energy more efficiently, lowering energy consumption and greenhouse gas emission per unit of useful product or service, such as vehicle mile of travel or lumen of lighting for illumination. Second is alternative energy carriers and chemicals that produce less greenhouse gas per unit of valuable product or service can be created or used with new technology, such as renewable energy resources or new low nitrogen fertilizers. Third is new technologies have the potential to develop less greenhouse gas intensive ways of delivering goods and services, such as by using substitute products or materials that have lower greenhouse gas emissions, or by facilitating larger system-wide changes, such as replacing automotive and air travel with teleconferencing and telecommunicating. People can live more easily and conveniently because of modern technologies. It is faster and more convenient to drive than to work or ride a bicycle. When this modern technology was established, people began to switch from riding a horse to taking the train. People began to adapt their behaviors to become more reliant on new technology. However, because new technology is mostly powered by fossil fuels, the more we use it, the more carbon dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere, causing global warming. Climate change poses a serious threat to the areas, animals, and livelihoods that Worldwide Fund for Nature, or WWF, fights to preserve. To fully address this catastrophe, We must reduce carbon emissions as soon as possible and prepare for the effects of global warming, which we are currently witnessing. Worldwide Fund for Nature aims to conserve nature and ecological processes by preserving biodiversity, ensuring sustainable use of natural resources, and promoting the reduction of pollution and wasteful use of resources and energy. The only reason that the technology has negative effects is according to how it is used. Some are abusing the technology's capabilities to the point where it causes harm to us and even in the environment, resulting to global climate change. But let us not forget that science and technology have made communication with people all around the world much easier. Science and technology enable everyone to live a comfortable and modern lifestyle. Especially now that we are in the midst of pandemic, science and technology plays a significant role in the economy, politics, business, education, and so on. That's all, ma'am. I hope you understand and enjoy my presentation. Thank you.